Welcome to CC Energy Development, Oman branch. This brief video contains important health, safety and environmental information. Safety is our value in CCED. We believe that everyone has the right to go home to their family and friends unharmed. So our aim is to prevent accidents.
We've been working in Oman since 2007, and we're the operator of Blocks 3 and 4. We have been very successful, but to continue that success, it's vital that you and your colleagues return home safely after working here. I hold as a value the principle that we can and will perform all our operations without hurting anybody. At all times, I behave in a manner consistent with that core value. And I'm asking you to do the same by following these 4 simple behaviours. Trust. Always behave in a way that builds trust with your colleagues that you put safety first, and that they clearly feel that your primary expectation of them is that they perform their tasks safely. Commitment. Always promote CCED's life-saving rules and build confidence that when followed, these will provide a safe working environment. Empowerment. Always behave in a way that makes your colleagues feel empowered to stop operations when they feel unsafe or when they're unsure about what to do. Zero tolerance. Always show zero tolerance to unsafe behaviours and build a culture of intervention, stopping unsafe or incorrect behaviours and acknowledging good behaviour. Now, I believe that following these behaviours will create the environment where we all share the value that we can and will perform all our operations with zero injuries.
We at CCED take HSE responsibility very seriously, and by following the rules and guidelines in this video, we ensure that your time in CCED will be a safe one.
Our expectations.
CCED believes that safe working environment is essential. Therefore, CCED expects everyone to take care of their own safety and safety of the people around them. In order for risks to be evaluated and mitigated to prevent accidents, CCED expects everyone to participate in identifying hazards, unsafe acts, and unsafe conditions.
HSE policy.
Our HSE policies apply to everyone, even if you're a visitor. Adherence to these policies is a mandatory requirement.
Life-saving rules. Why do we need life-saving rules?
Because we don't want anyone to get hurt. Therefore, everyone is responsible and accountable for our safety. Compliance to these rules is a must.
CCED has 9 life-saving rules. Safe system of work, line of fire, confined space entry, driving, energy isolation, excavation, H2S, lifting operations and working at height. To work in CCED field, you will need to go through a detailed orientation video on these 9 life-saving rules. PPE. Any work within CCED operations requires personnel to wear appropriate PPE. The mandatory PPE that must be worn: coveralls, gloves, helmet, safety shoes, and eye protection. Some tasks may require additional and special PPE, such as SCBA self-contained breathing apparatus, escape set, safety harnesses, welding visors, etc. Please check your job safety analysis for any specific PPE requirements before starting a job. Risk management.
During your time here, you may be exposed to some hazards. CCD encourages everyone to be alert and vigilant to identify potential hazards and manage the risk.
CCED has implemented a risk management system that provides a standardized framework for identifying and managing risk to people, environment, and facilities associated with CCED operations. Once a hazard is identified, it is important to assess how severe the hazard is. Does it require immediate attention? Do you need help in dealing with it? CCED has developed and implemented tools to identify, assess, control, mitigate, and report the hazards and risks. Permit to work. Note that every critical task has an additional certificate that needs to be acquired, such as confined space certificate, electrical isolation certificate, and so on. Depending on the task. Remember, all PTW roles require specific training and certification. You will only be allowed to take a role in PTW if you are qualified. H2S. The work at CCED often involves H2S. H2S is an extremely toxic gas and could be fatal if inhaled. Although risk areas are isolated and identified, it is still crucial to consider presence of sour gas, so keep your personal H2S monitor and escape set with you at all times when on site. Make sure you never work alone and follow the buddy system. In case of H2S release, an alarm will be activated. Put on the escape set and evacuate crosswind to the assembly point. Road safety. CCED recognizes driving as the most dangerous activity. It contributes to far more accidental deaths and serious injuries than all other work-related activities.
We take driving seriously and consider it as a high-risk activity that we are facing on a daily basis.
Here are some driving measures that you must be aware of when driving in CCED operations. Every driver has to undergo defensive driving training. Every journey should have a plan following the Journey Management Plan requirement. The vehicle requires to be checked as per the checklist on a daily basis prior to proceeding to any journey. The vehicle must be fitted with an approved in-vehicle monitoring system, IVMS. All passengers must fasten their seatbelts prior to vehicle movement. Drivers must adhere to speed limits and adjust speed to weather and road conditions. Drivers should never use mobile phones while driving. Drivers should never drive while under the influence of alcohol or drugs. It is everyone's responsibility as a passenger to intervene in case of any violation. Reporting incidents. Reporting incidents is fundamental to achieving our success.
In CCED, we consider that all accidents are preventable, and we spare no effort to learn from them and prevent them in future. It's also our belief to learn from potential hazards by identifying them before an incident happens.
At CCED, it is everyone's responsibility to report all unsafe acts, unsafe conditions, near misses, or any other form of hazard that has the potential to cause harm to people, environment, assets, and our reputation. Primo.
We have an observation tool called Primo that allows us to identify and report any unsafe act or condition. Primo also allows us to intervene and promote safe behavior.
You should intervene immediately and agree on adequate actions to mitigate. This tool also helps CCED to enhance a positive culture when you observe good practice by reinforcing safe practices. Make sure you are an active participant by filling out your Primo card whenever you observe an unsafe act and unsafe conditions. Emergency protocols.
If there is an emergency, remain calm, follow the steps.
Stop what you are doing, evacuate the area, and proceed to the nearest designated muster point and report. The muster point controller will do the head count and report to the on-scene commander to check that all workers have safely evacuated. Once the emergency is dealt with, the on-scene commander will give the all-clear signal to return to work. Medical emergency. Be aware that there are always trained first aiders available at the site at all times. And in the case of a serious issue, an ambulance will be mobilized to the CCED clinic. Environmental protection.
CCED is committed to maintain high standards of environmental performance. You must adhere to CCED environmental policy.
Waste management is a key aspect to environmental protection. We continue to maintain a high standard and ensure waste is segregated. Good housekeeping will help prevent incidents. Employee welfare. If you are going to stay here for work, you will most probably be staying at the camp. We have a mess hall and recreational facilities meant for you and your colleagues' use. Ensure you keep it in perfect condition and follow all housekeeping rules diligently. CCED is proud to employ workforce from different nationalities. We have all come together so that we can go back home to our families safe and sound. Together, we have and we can make a big difference in developing CCED as a safe place to work. Before proceeding for any activities in the field, make sure you have a valid H2S card, defensive driving license if you are driving, completed your CCED HSE orientation, security pass, required PPE. Upon arrival in the field, you will need to report to your CCED focal point.
Remember that your safety is what matters most. Your safety begins with you. Thank you for watching the safety induction video. With your help, we can keep CCED a safe place for everyone.